We're coming off the heels of two of the state's largest rice celebrations, the International Rice Festival and the Yellow Rails and Rice Festival in Jennings.
Yeah, it's fitting that this week's Fueling the Future agritourism segment gets closer to the grain. Suzanne Ferreira joins us now with the story of preservation from the Rice Belt.
And guys, Commissioner Strain says Louisiana still ranks third in the world when it comes to rice production. It's really hard to fathom, but that's thanks to all of the hands involved throughout the state. We introduce you to two men giving the folks an intimate look at the ever-important grain. There's no place that prides itself on rice quite like Acadia Parish. It's home to Crowley, the rice capital of the world, and the birthplace of the iconic International Rice Festival. The southwestern parish is only second to adjoining Jeff Davis Parish in rice production. This vital commodity is celebrated and worn like a badge of honor here. This is also where you'll find America's first rice research station, a preeminent institution, ushering sustainable solutions while fueling global food security for more than a century. And it's not just anywhere that you can step inside a city hall and find an extensive exhibit unfolding the stories of the grain's laborious beginnings on the Cajun prairies. That journey includes its complex evolution and local pioneers who transformed trajectories with their ingenuity. Along Crowley's railroad tracks that skirt historic Mill Street, remnants of the past dot the landscape like a life-size museum of relics. Notice the towering rice mills standing like skyscrapers in the backdrop, a reminder of the proud soul of its surrounding communities. Amid this scene stands the thriving and immense Supreme Rice, one of the country's premier grain exporters, and right across the street is Falcon Rice Mill. While Supreme dwarfs Falcon's size, don't underestimate the brawn behind the third-generation family-owned mill.
This is our quarter grains. So this is what's coming out. It looks like grits.
Dwayne Fulton fervently preserves his family's rice legacy and proudly leaves public tours of the mill that produces Cajun country rice and other premium brands.
And whatever numbers we get here, the mill has to replicate that as it's going through the mill.
The U.S. military and law enforcement veteran oozes dedication and runs the mill that's technologically evolved like a well-oiled machine.
Hopefully, Ed and Evelyn Falcon were smiling on us with all the changes that we've done throughout our 16, 17 years here. And I think that they would be proud of their grandkids.
But while looking to the future, he never loses sight of founders Edward and Evelyn Falcon.
I am a firm believer in prayer is powerful.
In fact, a 3-page prayer, written in English and French by Mrs. Falcon following her husband's sudden death. It was unexpectedly discovered tacked high above a closet wall during renovations.
She wrote for health of the business. Miss Evelyn became very scared as to what was going to happen to the company.
What was it like when y'all found the prayer?
It was a surreal feeling, to say the least. To me, it was perfect as to understand why back in the day there were 14 to 16 mills up and down Mill Street, and now we have 2.
And you're one of them.
That's right.
Traveling about 100 miles away to Iberia Parish, you'll discover the oldest rice mill in America, the Conrad Rice Mill. The more than a century-old mill on the National Historic Registry produces Conrico brand rice varieties and includes the Conrico Company store.
We opened this valve up, and it's just a very unscientific looking thing.
80-year-old Mike Davis, who purchased the mill 50 years ago, exudes genuine enthusiasm as he shows tourists this rare surviving beauty that still uses belt drive transmission.
I tell everybody we have a geriatrics packing line over here. I mean, we go from the youngest guy is like 69 and the oldest guy is like 83. But we're still working here, the people from the neighborhood that know what to do.
You can't help but feel the history here and imagine the dust filling the mill as rough rice was brought in from the hard-working farmers throughout Acadiana.
I'm thinking it's a very important thing to keep this old mill operating and keep it going here. We could always go show them the stainless steel fancy places, but to see how their mother and their parents and their grandparents and how they used to work and how we still have big flywheels with leather belts working on it, I think you don't want to lose that heritage.
This couple from Seattle is getting an earful about the rice process.
We can actually buy this rice in the grocery stores where I'm from, so it was interesting to see how it's processed.
Meanwhile, inside the Conrico Country Store, Mike Davis's wife Sandra is helping guide visitors.
Why is it fun? Because I get to meet people from all over the world.
LSU ag agent Kim Landry, whose father and grandfather's grain passed through this mill during their farming careers, says it's historically significant and it plays a fundamental role in Louisiana's agritourism.
But it keeps the history alive and allows people to see how we've evolved in the rice industry, and allows people to see the importance of rice and what we've done with the evolution of rice.
Louisiana's Commissioner of Agriculture, Mike Strain, says grasping the complexity of the rice process before it hits the stovetop and onto plates is essential.
So that people understand when you go to cook your rice and you get that scoop out of the bag or out of that container, that they have a fundamental understanding of all the many things it takes to get that rice to you. So it's important, but anything we can do to continue the legacy and the understanding of what we do, because it's about this generation, but it's really about the next generation as well.
And all generations can take part in these fantastic tours. You just need to call ahead if you have a large group, if you're going over to the Conrad Mill in Iberia Parish.
Well, the Conrad Rice Mill, it's in my hometown, New Iberia. Been to it many times. Great place to go. It is the Berry. So any surprises while you were doing this, Suzanne?
Food safety certifications. You learn about how much, they have to go through so much red tape with that, and that is enormous. But also, you can get a Cuban sandwich over at the Conrad Mill that has their special sauce, which you can purchase at their country store.
I guess I have to go back home. Thank you so much, Suzanne Ferreira.
Absolutely.